do the Chiefs keep 6 linebackers long term? Connor, you want to take this one first?
No, they won't. One of them has already been put on IR, Willie Gay. He will miss the first 3 weeks. So technically they have 5 on the roster right now. But I don't really get why they're carrying 5, if I'm being honest. I don't, they run a ton of dime. They run a lot of like 3 safety looks. Is there really a reason this team needs to carry 5 linebackers when a lot of the time they'll only have 2 on the field? It seemed like at least Dorian O'Daniel's there to be a special teams ace. They like Darius Harris, even though when he saw the field, I saw the numbers the last few days. It was not pretty last year, even though by the eye test he looked a bit better. I just don't get why they need 5 linebackers, even when they have 3 safeties they're comfortable with, when they'll rotate L'Jarius Sneed to kind of a quasi safety cornerback player. It just, I don't, it feels kind of like a wasted roster spot. But if they wanted to roll with that for a special teams player, I guess that's a Dave Tube decision.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Austin and Taylor have a great article on arrowheadreport.com about Dave Tobe's kind of not micromanaging, but like they called him a shadow GM almost when it comes to roster decisions, and really outlined the data really well. So check that out. And with to that point, 6 linebackers is a lot, man. Anthony Hitchens, Willie Gay, Ben Neiman, Nick Bolton, Dorian O'Daniel, Darius Harris. That's a lot. I think eventually Harris gets sent somewhere. Like, I don't think necessarily traded, but released and then back practice squad, whatever. He's flashed a little bit in the limited samples he's had, but generally they haven't been great. So I just think once Willie Gay comes back, and I guess I should have mentioned that at the top of the podcast, Willie Gay was officially placed on the injured reserve on Thursday afternoon. He will miss the first 3 games, at least for the Chiefs season, and be eligible to return for week 4. So I think when that happens and you have to make some roster decisions, then it gets kind of dicey with the linebacker position. And Dorian O'Daniel, I don't think he's going anywhere. Like, personally, I wouldn't have kept him. But that's a Uncle Dave special. I think one of the guys, he was like, I want him to stay
Uncle
on the
Dave.
team. So yeah, Uncle Dave said, I want DOD, and if I get 5 guys, he has to be one of them. So man, 6 just seems
If he
like
gets
such
5 guys,
a big
he
number.
should get a bacon cheeseburger.
If he's going to get any
Sorry,
type of 5 guys,
I
it's
had
got
to
to get a
interject.
bacon cheeseburger.
I had to interject. You said 5 guys.
Oh man, that sounds so good. But 6 is just a lot. Like,
It's a lot.
there's no way around it. 6 linebackers is too much to have on your team.
And the defensive line only has 9, and there's 4 positions for starters, and then they'll rotate guys. And it feels like an extra guy there, like a Tim Ward, would have been serviced better than a Darius Harris or Dorian O'Daniel. Tim Ward was one of the 2 Chiefs that got claimed when they went through waivers. So it was obvious other teams took notice of him at least being a good back of roster player. And it felt like the Chiefs, with some question marks at defensive end, felt like that was kind of just a guy they were going to keep for depth, but they didn't. I feel like that was my biggest question mark when it came to the final cuts, even over somebody like cutting Cornell Powell. But it made sense to me, especially because I felt like he would make it to the practice squad. I just didn't really get the Tim Ward for 6 linebackers, even if Willie Gay got injured.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I guess to quantify it, I've seen people be on like 9 with "this is stupid. The Chiefs shouldn't have done that. I want Tim Ward. Dave Tobe doesn't know what he's doing." I think I'm at like a 3.5 on that. Like, it's slightly irritating, but like in the grand scheme of things, I really don't care. Connor, what would you scale yourself at from 1 to 10 with this?
Like a 4.5. I think if he's going to be making these types of decisions about the back of roster players, we need to see a bit more results from the special teams, because the last few years have not been, I mean, they've been okay, but they've not been great. We've seen kicker problems with Butker missing some field goals and extra points. We've seen Tommy Townsend have a terrible Super Bowl. We've seen tons of penalties and blunders on the special teams. So it's not been the classic Dave Tobe experience where he's commanding a top 3 special teams unit. It's been more like, yeah, he's top half of the league and it's fine. But if he's has this much control and this much power, you would want more results than that. So I'm like at a 4.5 just because of that. And it slightly annoys me when I see us basically have no positives on special teams.